My highlight is when I met the president.
Oh, which president?
Former president.
Former president Uhuru Kenyatta.
Uhuru Kenyatta.
Okay, how did that
Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta.
Yes.
Yeah, for me that was huge. Like I was still
That
in,
is
I was still in campus,
That
and
is
I'm like,
huge.
wow, I'm in an environment where like, wow.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Loy, and today I have come to Umoja in Nairobi's Eastlands. I am here to meet the person that created this shirt. You can see this amazing portrait of Fela Kuti. I love Fela Kuti's music, and so I'm wearing his shirt, but we are here to talk to the artist that created this amazing work. His name is Maxwell, alias Kahawa Creations. He's going to give us his story, going into the arts and how he started, and especially how he's turning his art into a business. So thank you so much for clicking. Let's get into it.
My name is Maxwell. I'm a creative artist, a designer, a self-taught designer when it comes to fabric decoration. Then I'm also an art entrepreneur, because I use my art as business. Like I take my hobby as business.
That is why
that's how I come as an art entrepreneur.
And you know, I forgot to mention that I'm actually wearing your art. I'm wearing actually Maxwell's shirt. This is how I got to meet or to know you. It's through this shirt. I love this shirt. I love Fela Kuti, so I'm going to show it very well. But very nice. Kazi safi sana. So I'm very interested, and I like that you said you use your art as business. So this is what you do.
Yeah, it's what I've been doing all my life.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Guys, so you are the dream. Like there are so many young people, or even grown people who in their hearts they're artists, but it's very vague, it's very opaque to understand how money comes.
Well, we are unborn artists. Then you grow up, you choose not to be an artist, you choose to be a pilot, you choose to be a doctor, you choose to be whatever career it is outside there.
Interesting. So we all have something to express.
Yeah, we all have something to express.
Sasa shida inakujaga ni how to make the money. How to make the money. Those who by your parents wanakwambia now go get a real job. So I'm so excited to talk to you because hopefully you'll make it clear at least through your journey.
Yes.
How this happened. So maybe let's start at the beginning with your childhood. Where do you come from?
I'm born and raised in different parts of the country. Growing up, I was born in Kapenguria. So from Kapenguria, well, that's where I started my art. When we were kids, I used to make my own toys. Like we would go to the river, like get the clay, come and start modeling, like just out of curiosity.
Nice.
And also it also depended on the seasons, because there were during the harvest seasons would have the things for maize. We used to make helicopters, planes.
The cob or the leaves, the two
leaves. I don't know what
the sheath.
Yeah, we'll check it out. So here also we used to use needles, prick them, then use them as aeroplanes.
Interesting.
So creativity started from there. So then going back to school, drawing diagrams and competing, drawing ninjas, drawing cars. Like during my time, we used to create our own fun. Like we didn't have TV like the cartoons which we enjoy nowadays, or the games which we have on our phones. Like you had to be outside to have fun.
Be creative.
Yeah, you have to be creative to have fun.
Interesting.
So, and since I also got we got bored easily, like we had to come up with every time with new ideas on how to have fun.
Yes.
So for me, that's how my art journey started. And then it was sparked by my cousin, because he used to draw. He was in high school. I was in primary, in class 3. So I used to see him draw. I'm like, one day I'm also gonna be drawing like you. So he didn't even show me like how to draw. So when I went back to school, I was competing with other students. Then when he came back from school, when he had closed school, I would show him, like, here's my art, and he was like, no, bado jafika. So that made me feel like utaona tu ngoja tu. So from there now I started practicing just to prove myself as an artist. So from practicing, then when he closed school, he came back home again. Then I show him, like, I have an entire portfolio for my artworks, and he's like, you're not the one who did this. Then he's like, do it again. So when he's there, I do it again.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, yeah, you're almost there. You're getting there. So
how old were you at this point?
I think 7.
Wow.
7, 8.
Okay.
Yeah. So from there now is when I started like taking art now seriously, because the one who I was looking up to has approved that I am an artist.
Yes.
So that approval for me was like everything.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you've given me a lot. So from that young age,
Yeah.
I usually ask what career path do people want to follow? Like at that age, what did you want to be?
At that age, when we were doing Kalongolongo,
Yeah.
I used to like make architecture. We used to do interior designs.
Yeah.
So I always knew I'm gonna be an architect.
Yeah.
But on the other end, my mom thought I was thinking I was going to be a soldier. So for me, I used to make toy guns using the clay.
Yeah.
So for her, she thought, this one wants to be a soldier.
Okay.
So she misinterpreted like the art with the career.
But it's interesting. Most of the people I know who are artistic, like in terms of fine arts, actually end up following architecture. It's like one of the main professional fields that allows you to, you know, to actually draw,
to execute your drawing skills. But nice. Then I wanted to be an architect up to the point when I got to high school.
Okay.
Then I got physics and chemistry, and I'm like, okay. So
sciences.
I have to do this in order to be an architect. I'm like, not me. So when it got to Form 2, when you're now choosing the subjects, now that's when I now chose arts to be like serious. Even though we didn't have art in school, but there was journalism club, so which helped me like get myself known in school. It made me a celebrity. It was
which school?
I was in Ramba Boys High School.
Ramba Boys.
It's in Nyanza. So from being part of journalism club, then doing art, then I got into dancing, into the arts. So from there now, I like it really got serious, because I started earning from when I was in high school.
Wow! How?
Because I used to design love letters, because the ones that were there, they didn't have like a physical touch, like that human touch. Like it was just printed. Then
I remember those what do you call the notepads? The
notepads. So for me, I wanted to be like creative, and there was a boy who was creative, but now he used to use dust. You just cut a love heart, then use dust to create the heart, and I'm like, I can draw. So I took his idea, then added my idea, and I was like, it was hot selling.
You would sell, how much would you sell?
So I would have a variety. So if you have 10 shillings, there's there's designs for 10 shillings, 20 shillings, 30 shillings. Now for those who used to have money, like I'll go an extra mile. Like I design the love letter, then I also like do the calligraphy for you. So you just write the letter. So then I just do for you the calligraphy for the entire letter. So that's like that was 50 bob.
To write to do calligraphy for the whole letter.
But I was like, you have to be like really short, because
of course you have to do like a whole page.
A whole page of calligraphy. So you do
like a poetry in calligraphy.
Like just a small poetry. But mostly I used to do poetry.
Interesting.
So from there I now went to even envelopes. And then from there now I got noticed. Then during sports in the district and in the county, they used to poach students, like to go and do calligraphy for
during the event.
For the certificates during the sports.
I see.
And so we also paid. And so for me, I'm like, hey, if I can start earning right now, then this is it for me.
Interesting.
So what made me now become more serious is when I got into science. Like into what's it called, Science Congress. Yeah, so in Science Congress, my project became number 1 in the district. It went to number 1 in the counties. Then it went to number 1 in the provincials. Then when it got to provincials, when it was number 1, so scrutiny was being done.
Yeah.
And so it came about that our patron was not a science teacher, and also
technicality.
We also we didn't have like home science in our school. But
so what was the project?
My project was about modernized egg tray, because
modernized egg tray.
Yes, because what I did was like, if I have a piece, so I just add shelters where the eggs are gonna be placed.
Wow.
Yeah, so
interesting.
So that's how, like, it was a recycling project.
Yeah.
And I used to do the artworks using toothpicks, and also hold the eggs using toothpicks and straws.
And so this was a project. So you did this in school?
Yeah, I did that in school.
Wow. So the school was quite supportive, it sounds like.
Yeah, it was supportive.
Yeah.
But I first had to do it on my own.
Yeah.
For them to see like it's possible.
Yeah.
And from there now.
So you got to provincials, ama you got to where?
I got to the provincials.
Wakasema hii technicality.
Yeah. So
nice. Okay.
But I was really glad, like, we conquered.
Yeah. Okay, so what happened then? What was your next step after high school now?
After high school, I was juggling on my career path.
Yeah.
Because I knew I wasn't gonna be an architect. So I was looking at anything close to art.
Yeah.
And so I even went to Google and searched like art events, art whatever. So from there was I remember in 2018 there was Kenya Art Fair. And so for the Kenya Art Fair, like, it had all the galleries, all the art studios were exhibiting.
Yes.
So I got to meet every artist, both those who were starting and those who were pioneers in the industry. And I was checking out their price tags and went around, see all different types of arts, and I'm like, and these guys are selling. I'm like, yes, this is it.
Tell us some of them. I know some of the prices.
This is what I'm gonna do.
This is it. People are selling.
Because I was seeing a red sticker on a sculpture going for 800,000, and I'm like, there are people who are buying art at this price.
800,000 for
sale. The others were 100, 300, and I'm looking at the stickers. They are sold. I'm like,
sold.
Yeah,
you see, like, unaona piece kama hii.
Yeah, you just see
100K and it's sold.
And it's sold. I'm like, wow.
Okay.
So there is a market for art.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
But now, in reality, when I went now to look for materials and everything, blah blah blah, I'm like, oh my god, it's so expensive. Then I got to understand, like, yes, for art you need to also like invest, like really invest.
Yeah.
So I went back home. So I at first I now started looking for an art school. Though my dad wasn't into the idea of me doing art.
I was going to ask about now your parents, because umemaliza shule kama vile tunajua.
Yeah.
The expectation is now for, like, you go do a profession or something. So what were your parents processing at this time?
They were really not like sure about art.
Okay.
But then it got to a point when I went for the art exhibition, I took notes, I took pictures.
Yeah.
So I show them, this is what is happening outside there. This is
somebody selling.
So, but still they were still not so sure. But I was given 1 year to just
fanya vitu zako,
to just think about myself, because I went to BIFA.
Yeah.
For
Buruburu.
Buruburu Institute of Fine Arts.
Yeah.
So from there is when now I got like informed about art. So the next opening, because they had already closed their intake, so I had to wait for a whole year to do a diploma. And so for the whole year I went back home. I used to cause trouble, like I don't know how to drive. I was just reading the driving book. Then I just like I take the car. I hit a tree.
Oh my.
Then from there now is when my dad So like, this boy is becoming mischievous. So go to driving school, go to computer just to keep me busy.
Yeah.
But
so at this point, were you living in Nairobi?
No, I was living in Bondo.
Bondo.
Yeah.
Okay.
So from there now is when I started continued practicing art. So I didn't have like the materials for art, so I used to improvise.
Yeah.
So I go to the construction site, there's a ceiling which had remained, so I take it, one of my old clothes, I cover it. So there's toothpicks, I just take toothpicks, I just do art. Just anything that I would lay my hands on, I just create. I just wanted to create. I didn't even know how to paint, because I only knew how to use a pencil and using a biro.
Yeah.
And so from there, that's how I continued practicing art, and also still going back to Facebook, going to the internet, checking out what a guy is doing outside there.
Yeah.
And so I continued practicing like that.
So this is interesting. There's usually, after high school, between high school and after that gap, usually for parents, there's always that concern of how to keep the children busy ndo wasipotee, because hapo ndio sasa ile idleness inaingia. So for you immersed in the art.
I was deeply into the art, like saa 4, saa 5, saa 6, saa 7 I'm still doing art. Like I would even sometimes miss lunch because I'm just busy creating. Like because when I'm creating, I get lost in myself.
Yeah.
Like I even forget that time exists. Yeah. So it can be like for 3 hours, 4 hours. Then when fatigue kicks in, you're like, oh, okay, yeah.
What's the time?
I'm human.
Yeah, you need to eat.
I need to eat. Yeah. So I really had the passion for art.
Yeah.
And so that's what drove me to now convincing my dad, this is what I wanted to do. Like, just give me the chance to do this.
Yeah.
And so I went to BIFA now. Now getting into BIFA, I still have now to choose. There's art, there's drawing and painting, there's graphics design, there's interior design, and there's fashion design, there's sculpture also. And I wanted to do all of them. I thought drawing and painting is a unit on its own. Interior design is also a unit.
Then you do all these things and you get your diploma.
They're all in one. No, you have to choose. There's this and this and this and this.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So for the first month, there's the induction. Like you taught everything. You taught fashion. You taught interior design. You taught graphics design. So for you to be equipped, this is what I'm getting into.
Yeah.
And for me, I chose art and design because it was cutting across all these other units.
Yeah.
It was we're having shared units with fashion, we're having shared units with graphics design, shared units with interior design, and so with that now I got equipped. So for me it was art, but now since I was in the environment where everything is done, so it just I took the opportunity, and whenever I wasn't having any classes, I would just go and peep what are fashion guys doing, what are graphic designers doing, because all my friends, none of them were
in art and
were doing and painting the same causes as I.
Okay.
I had fashion designers as my friends, I had graphic designers as my friends, I had interior designers as my friends, but now the ones who used to do the same course, they were just classmates, they were not
you
friends.
didn't really have friendships. Okay.
So for the friendships which I had, now I got to learn a bit of graphic design, I got to learn a bit of interior design, a bit of fashion and everything. So, and also helping them with the assignments also gave me more insights on what they're really doing.
The practical aspect.
The practical aspect,
Interesting.
Because my art fits in all of them.
Wow.
When you go to interior design, for paintings,
it
goes to interior design. When you go to fashion,
easy.
there's that. Because and when you go to graphic design, whatever it is that I'm putting on, it was graphically made. So I got a little bit of everything. So coming out, I was like, how do I now implement all this into one
and make money?
And so that's how Kahawa Creation came about, and that's how I now got into entrepreneurship. Now, where I now have to know about how to make money.
I was going to ask, were you taught about this? They say what creative entrepreneurship. Were you taught about that in school, or how did you like come into this information?
We had entrepreneurship as a unit.
Okay.
But then we're just being taught how to do like the basics. Like we're not being taught about cash flow. Because when I got out, is when I know about cash flow. So in school we had a unit for entrepreneurship, and for entrepreneurship, we're being taught how to do invoices, to do what's it called, to do a quotation, to do a proposal. But now they didn't teach us everything about money, or how money operates, or how money goes around. So out of school, now I had to continue with my financial literacy.
Yes.
And that's when I fell upon the book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Oh my gosh, one of my favorite books. You know, when you're talking, I'm just like, I feel like as a society in general, we are not taught. In fact, we don't even know. So even those the teachers who are teaching us, they
don't know that there's money literacy.
Yes, financial literacy. So so even me personally, one of the things I love financial literacy, and I'm so interested in these topics. But mimi mwenyewe sijui. So that's why I love speaking to people and hearing about your journeys with money, because anyway we don't have this information. So even us as a society, not even just in the arts course that you did, but as a society, we don't have this financial literacy. True. So for me also, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, maybe I generally don't super enjoy like self-help books. But when I started Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it just clicked for me. And I love that book. I know the author is akona controversy zake na biashara zake, but I'm like, that book is spot on. So even you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
Yes, because when creating, like I either listen to music or
an audiobook,
or a
podcast.
And so when I was doing like when I was reading, I was going through self-help books. Like there was one which was for self-discipline, like how to be self-disciplined. Then I'm like, so after reading that book, I took some notes, and I'm like, I can replace listening to music while creating art with now listening to contents that educate me. Then from there now is when I got to now, like, what are the things that I'm lacking? So I'm like, hey, I don't know, I don't have financial literacy. So which books talks about financial literacy? So I asked my friends, they're like, check out Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I go listen to it. And so from listening to Rich Dad, Poor Dad, now I got to understand, like, there's financial literacy, there's now cash flow, like how money comes in, how money goes out. I understood, and I got to understand about liabilities and assets. And so I now got interested in acquiring assets rather than liabilities.
Art is a huge asset.
Art is a huge asset, because once you exhibit your piece, like every year, now it starts accumulating with 30%. So the longer your art stays, the more valuable. So also the beautiful thing with art, the more your brand grows, then the higher priced the items become. So the more unazeeka kwa kazi, the more valuable your art becomes.
Hey, you've sparked something. Because for me also it was Rich Dad, Poor Dad, honestly, which really made me think differently about finances and organizing myself. So it's good to hear that you had a similar experience. So how did you now start? Sasa umejipata you are doing your art and you're educating yourself at the same time. How was your journey like from there?
From there, now I stopped like acquiring liabilities, because all along I used to acquire liabilities thinking they're assets. And so now I started acquiring assets.
Unafaa kutupatia masterclass for young people, because
now for me, like, I'm an artist and I take art as my hobby, but still I'm an entrepreneur. So I used to take art as an hobby, because the paints I would buy, the brushes I would buy, everything I would buy for art, I would end up using them to have fun and not making sure, like, whatever it is that I'm doing, like, am I going to sell it, or is it just for fun? So I now had to bring those two aspects together. Like, in as much as I want to have fun, I also have to consider like there's a market outside there that I need to serve. Yeah, so that's when now I became serious, and also like taking records on my monthly income, on my cash flow, where money goes in, where money comes out. And so from there now I started becoming cautious on how I spend my money, because at times when I was still in campus, like I would sell a painting for even 30,000, and I'm like, I've never had such amount of money.
Yeah.
I don't know how to use it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have this money. Oh, mom, here's 5,000. Hey, dad, here's 5,000. Yo, bro, and sis, so here's 1,000 for you. And then I'm like, I don't have art materials, so I go and buy art materials. Then I'm like sorted. But now at the end of the day, I end up like I don't have running capital.
Yeah.
So maybe there's an event somewhere I need to go, or I need to book for a ticket for me to go and sell my pieces. I don't have that cash. I just have the materials. I don't have the running capital. So I also got to know like I need to have like running capital for me to keep my business going. Because right now what I do is there are pop-ups. So on weekends there are pop-ups. So when I attend a pop-up, I get like orders, and also like I get myself known outside there. And so from the pop-up, that's how like I make income. Like I go to a pop-up, like I can get an order that runs throughout the week. And so the next weekend also I have to know like, is there a pop-up, or is there an event somewhere where I need to be?
Okay.
So that's how like I get my clients.
So I want to go a bit slower.
Yeah.
Let's reverse a bit.
Yes.
Tell me how you made your first sale.
How I made my first sale?
Yes.
It was really a surprise. Like I didn't expect, because my first sale for a painting was that 30,000 Kenyan shillings.
Okay. How did it happen?
How it happened? Before that, there was an event at YMCA. Yeah. And so we went there to represent our school as artists.
So you're still in BIFA?
I'm still in BIFA at that time. So we went to represent our school as artists. So from that event, I was just like explaining to the guys there, to the kids who had come to a career day. Yeah. So we're just explaining like art as a career. And so explaining to them, so I was explaining that painting. So after explaining the painting, then the guy was like, just a guy from the audience was like, so how much do you sell it? I'm like, I'm selling it for 30,000. And so there was a mother there who's like, I want it. So I didn't want to show her that I'm excited.
Like, yeah, just like, yeah, we do this.
So I'm like, yeah. So inside of me, I'm like, yeah. You serious?
Is this happening? Yeah.
Is this really happening? Because initially I would sell it for 5,000, 6,000, 4,000.
Wow.
But that day I was just guessing.
You just picked a number?
I just picked a number. Just to encourage them.
The kids that you can sell art expensive. That you can sell art expensive.
Little did I know it was something that is going to happen. So I'm like, yeah, so, because if she was the one who would have asked, like, how much do you sell it? Because I wanted to sell it anyway, I would have said 10,000 or 5,000, because I want to sell it real fast. Yeah. Because also in the environment in which I was in, I did not picture like I can sell this painting for 30,000. Yeah, because it was just like ordinary Kenyans, not like high-end clients. Where
let me tell you, I'm doing this channel and I'm learning ordinary Kenyans have money. Nice. Yeah, so where the Holy Spirit just led you to say 30.
Yes. So I said 30. Then she was like, yeah, I'll take it. I'm like, okay, yeah. So we exchanged contacts. Then she took it. Then from there, she also then ordered for another painting also. Wow. Then from there I was like, yeah,
this is the line.
So we just like
okay, so you've sold your first painting.
Yeah.
How then did you kind of start finding your path? So she sold a painting, she's made an order.
Yeah.
How did you get into this cycle of now going for pop-ups? Like ulifika aje hapo?
For me, I was hungry for the art market. Yes. So I would search like what's going on in the art industry. So I go to Facebook, I look for art events that are there. So some I would attend, some I would just go and make a sell, or maybe just make an appearance. And so from the events that I was attending, I would create networks with other artists and also like get known. And so from there, they're like, okay, there's this event coming, you should come. There's this, you should come. Because for me, the art that I was doing was quite unique from every other artist.
Okay.
So like it wasn't like direct competition with other artists. So I would fit in easily. And they're like, okay, you paint using coffee, good. So
actually, you've not even told us that part. You paint using coffee. We are going to ask where your name came from.
Yes, so Kahawa Creations came from painting using coffee.
Painting using coffee, and this was did that start?
In campus.
In campus.
It is funny. There was a girl I was interested in courtship with, and she loved coffee. So, because she didn't like tea. Because I would always invite her for tea, and she's like, no, me, I don't take tea. Why don't you get these things? I take coffee. So I'm like, okay, coffee it is then. So whenever we would hang out, it was just coffee. Then from there, now I got interested in coffee. So I also started taking coffee. Because also it came to a point where in school, like you had to transnight. Just to do the projects. Like for a whole week you have to transnight, and you have to stay sober. And coffee did the work for me. Like
it kept you awake.
It kept me awake.
And
so using coffee also, like then while doing my works. So when after sipping, I put it down, and like I accidentally placed it on my artwork. So when I pulled it out, like there was the stain. And so from there I was like, I know about watercolor. This looks like watercolor, like a brown watercolor. So I'm like, okay, let me just take a brush and try it out. They're like, it's working.
Nice.
So I destroyed a piece, an artwork which I was working on for a client.
But you discovered
I discovered the style. So from there, I'm like, coffee. Yeah. So I also now go to YouTube and see if there's anyone who's painting using coffee, and I find like, the guys also you paint using coffee. It's a thing. But in Kenya, I was now the first one who was painting using coffee. And so I continued painting using coffee, so I practiced up to a point where now it got inside of me. Like I even started now researching about coffee, how it started, blah blah blah, all those things. And I really got interested in coffee, and guys in school now started referring me to ule artist ana painting na kahawa. So from there now I took now coffee seriously. And then before I had difficult art name, I had inverted my name from Maxwell to Luxam. So
coffee. I see. Okay. So it wasn't so easy to
for me to be remembered. Like because also like for your business to do well, it also needs memorability. Like can somebody easily memorize your name? Like you meet someone today and you're like, just go and search Kahawa Creations. So the next time he's having coffee, he's remembering Kahawa. The guy who also paints using coffee. So from there now, I took it now as a brand and not just as a nickname.
Nice.
So
I have to ask, where is the girl who inspired this whole style?
Unfortunately, it didn't happen.
It didn't work out.
It didn't work out.
But you know what? She was in your life for that reason. That's how we get coffee. Okay. So you are telling us about you kind of got into the arts network.
Attending events. So from there is when now I got like pop-up. Attending the events, now I got to know about pop-ups. And from the pop-ups, like you attend one, then the guys you meet there, when there's another one, they just call you. Yo, there's this happening, come through. Yo, there's this happening, come through. So just from attending one, you get a link to the next one. And when you attend the next one,
you also meet clients.
The next one. Because that's also how like we've met here like today. It was through the pop-up.
One of the clients.
And so from the pop-ups now, like also other avenues come. Like you get known. Like so even if there's a mural somewhere that needs to be painted, like I know someone who can do this. Maybe let's say organizations, maybe like last year I did body art for Stanbic Bank for their end year party. and you see it's from these networks that now I got to get noticed,
this type of gigs.
and also like having my business registered. So I came to notice like there is a gap, like in the corporate world. Yes, they want to work with artists, but they want to work with artists who have registered their businesses.
Yes.
Yeah. So most of artists out there, they miss out the opportunity just because they haven't registered their business.
They have not made things official.
Yes, they haven't made things official. So you meet someone you meet a company, and they like send us a quotation, send us an invoice. You don't know even what that is.
Yeah.
You're just an artist. You just do paintings and sell.
Yeah.
You just do portraits and sell. So for me, like being structured, in a way that if there's a business, I have to send you the quotation, you approve it first. After it's approved, so we do the invoice. After that, maybe there are some documents which are needed. We get it sorted out. Yeah.
So you can engage with corporates on a corporate level.
Yeah. And also like it also gives you business authenticity.
Yeah.
Like people see your seriousness, the reporting into your craft, and now they start like supporting it, and it also builds trust. Yeah. Like to customers, like your business is registered. Now they start giving you the trust. Like you have a location, they start trusting you. Yeah.
Hii information ulipata shuleni ama kwa rich dad poor dad ama so how did you come? Because I agree with you. I've also, I know a lot of artists, and to some extent even there is a resistance against being professional. Unajua venye watu husema wa artists never keeping time, I don't know what, dress code or this new element hizi zetu.
Yes.
So there's a kind of like this artist persona that some of us really hold on to.
Yes.
How did you get into this idea that I have to be official because this is a business?
I also had that mindset of like, I'm an artist. I have to
come
be free.
Late, put on whatever.
Like I don't have to come to work at 8.
I don't want to be boxed into the system.
I just want to paint whenever I feel like. I just want to do things whenever I feel like.
Young, wild,
but
and
now,
free.
like when you have a structure, like you can now, like for me, like if I do a painting, like I quote it, like I've used this much paint, I've used this much material, I've used this much. So even if when it comes to pricing, it's easier for me to price.
Yeah, to understand your inputs.
Yeah, to understand my inputs, the labor, the number of hours I placed inside there. So that also guides me on how I price like my artworks. Because before, I would just do paintings. Yeah.
Alafu unapiga guesswork, unasema hii mtu anaweza lipaje?
And at some point, I used to think like, I've sold it for 10,000. I've made like a really huge profit. But in real sense, like when I come down to
like the
paperwork, the mathematics, it's not adding up.
The profit ni 3K, ama less.
It's even less. And you're like, what? So I went at a loss and I didn't know. I was just excited.
The euphoria of the 10K.
Just to get the quick money. So these days I'm not into the rush of just selling the piece because I just want to sell it. Because I also have like merchandise. Because before I did not have merchandise. I didn't have the t-shirts. I never used to do like custom-made outfits. Because right now I do custom-made outfits and I also do like merchandises. So it's easier for me for my business to be sustainable. Like
because you have different streams of different cash,
like multiple streams of income.
Different streams, okay.
That repeat from rich dad, poor dad.
Yeah.
Like you have to have multiple streams of income. You just don't depend on one.
Oh, that I know.
Because for artists, you always like, hey, me just want to do paintings, me just want to do
Let me tell you, I know.
But in real sense, is it really paying?
Yeah.
Like for you to sell an art piece, like you'll have to wait like for 2 months, 3 months,
or more,
or even more.
Yeah.
And so what are you gonna do all this in between? Yeah. So you find that I used to feel depressed. I used to feel anxiety. Just because I just wanted to stick to being an artist.
Which are all common problems with artists.
Yes.
Depression, anxiety, all common.
Yes. Yeah. So how I got out of it is like I scaled down my business to making it affordable, and also like have a target audience. Like I can deal with the youth. I can deal with working class, and I can also deal with the corporate.
So you target.
So I target, like, this is what I'm doing, I'm targeting this one. This is what I'm doing, I'm targeting this one. This is what I'm doing, I'm targeting this one. So that's how, like, now that's like my business module. Like the time for work, like I work from Thursday to Saturday. No, from Tuesday to Saturday. So Sunday is church, definitely. So on Monday is my day off. I usually rest on Mondays. And so from Tuesday to Saturday is when now I'm working.
Wow. Hey. Anyway, I'm amazed. I'm impressed. Can I ask how old you are?
I'm 26.
Hey. You have figured things out in good time.
Yes.
You have figured things out in good time, because let me tell you. Hey. It's very good to hear, because a lot of artists struggle to figure this out, and we come to figure it out much later, when things are dire, and as you say, you struggle with so much tension, so much anxiety because of the financial situation. So we love creating, but because finances are equal power, obvious, life is not like tension. Life is not easy. So finding that balance, you have figured it out, and congrats.
It also comes with a price. You have to pay a price for it.
What's the price you have paid?
For me, for the price I paid was I had to stop using alcohol. I stopped smoking marijuana. I used to smoke marijuana. I used to do drugs. So I stopped drugs first. And so from stopping using drugs, and now I had the time for myself. Just some alone time, and really figure out, like, yo, bro, like, what's up, like, what's next. Because during my depression state and my anxiety, like, I just I get a blunt and I'm good to go. I just have a thought or two and I'm good to go. But now, like, when I stopped that kind of lifestyle, I was like, hey, I have this money. I can now buy this, I can now buy this, I can now buy this. So even the anxiety, like, I would have had control over it, or for the depression, I would have had control over it if I had control over my finances. Like how to use my finances. And so also that led me to my spiritual life. I was like, what's my spiritual life like? Like, yo, because it was during the time of COVID when people were dying, and I'm like, so yes, people are dying. What if I'm the next one? And so the point when it comes to me, I'm like, what life have I lived, and what impact have I made to the society? So that made me also, like, now to be really, like, strict on myself, on doing some things and not doing some things. And it also helped me because the friends I used to have were just for partying and for the lifestyle,
the companions,
living the life, like, you only live once, kind of lifestyle. But really, you don't live once, you live every other day. You only just die once. And so you have to make every day count, and not just let the days, not just count the days. You have to make the days count.
Guy, who can figure this out. Hey Maxwell, umeongea kama wazee. But you know what I'm seeing in you?
Yes.
Is a lot of wisdom, and it's a lot of realization that comes to a lot of people much later.
Yes.
When things are a bit more difficult to correct. Wewe umejicorrect tu na mapema. Like, you have just found your path and you've picked it up mapema, which is amazing. Yani, me, I'm just like, I am encouraged. There is hope for the future, for the youth.
There's hope for the youth.
There's hope for the youth. So it's so good to see that you found your path. And I wonder, sometimes I don't want to be too personal, but what was the point at which you said it was COVID and maybe the people were dying and everything. What was the point at which you said, this lifestyle is not for me? Like nini ilifanya ukasema ngoja kwanza wacha nifikirie venye naweza pick a different?
I think it's in the solitude, like when you are alone.
Okay, lockdown.
When like you're alone, like you don't have friends around you, like it's just you and your thoughts.
Okay.
And my thoughts were running wild.
Okay.
And it also happened at the time when I was using drugs, when I was smoking.
Yeah.
So I was smoking up to the point when like I just do it daily. And I'm like, okay, it's daily now. So it now became my lifestyle. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it came to a point when like every time I smoke, like some thoughts come that are not comfortable.
Okay.
Like I don't feel comfortable anymore smoking. I don't feel comfortable anymore drinking.
Yeah.
Because now in my solitude, like I'm all alone now. Like I have to think about myself.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. So it's me. Like what am I getting out of this? Is this profitable for me?
Yeah.
And so from there now I got back to working out. And so from working out, so from listening to just one book. Okay, I know like we always have that like new year, new me.
Yeah.
And so from the new year, new me, like I was like, reading books. I haven't read books in a while. And so the first book which I read was Self-Discipline.
Okay.
And so from reading that book, I had a friend whom everything in that book was reflecting to him. Like I was seeing everything I'm reading in that book in him. He hasn't read the book, but he's living the lifestyle of self-discipline.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes.
It's possible.
And I was looking at his life. His life is still good.
Yes.
He still has friends. He's
happy.
He's happy.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have stress.
Yeah.
And the way he's managing his time is okay.
Yeah.
Because for us, we used to just party. So when it comes to submitting projects, like just waiting for the deadline for you to start working out. But
you
for
crash,
him, he just took every day, he just does something that's piling up to the project. So when it comes to submitting the projects, he submits them on time.
Yeah.
I started reflecting on myself, and after the New Year resolutions, New Year, New Me.
Yeah.
And for me, that book now like made me realize more about myself, on the things that I can do to make myself better. From the teachings that I used to get, though I didn't practice them at that time, like they were just somewhere in my mind. So when I was just seated alone in my solitude, then my thoughts were running wild. So some thoughts were just coming, clashing, and I wasn't comfortable with the words that were coming to my head. So I had to take a stand and really work on myself.
Yeah, to be deliberate and say, okay, this is who I am.
This is who I am. Yeah. This is what the society has taught me. This is what my friends have made me become. Yeah. Because I saw like I was losing myself and gaining a lot of friends. Yeah. But I'm losing myself. Yeah. But now when it came about to finding myself, I had to shed off friends.
Everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to shed off friends.
Itagwa quarter life crisis is what they call it. But hey, I think you came out of it much stronger because clearly we are coming back now to the money story. Clearly you have made a path for yourself out of that whole journey. Aya sasa tuongee money story.
Yeah, money.
You have given us your path. Tell us what you do. So we've talked a lot about your journey, but it's not yet clear exactly what you do. Uko na different streams. What are the streams?
Kahawa Creations is a company that deals in fine art. It also deals with apparel, which is clothing, and furniture.
Nice. Yes. I didn't know furniture.
Yes.
Nice.
So, but furniture is still a work in progress.
So interior design.
Yeah, it's part of Kahawa Creations.
Nice.
Because since I developed a style, my style can run through paintings. It also can run through apparel. Yeah, and also it can run through furniture.
Nice.
Plus, I also offer like services such as doing murals, sip and paint, and also body art.
Body art.
Yeah.
Nice.
But basically, I also deal with projects that I work with briefs. So like if you have a brief and I'm able to actualize it, then I also do briefs.
Yeah. Awesome. you've given us a bit of a taste. I want to go into how now you do what you do. How does your day-to-day schedule go? You've given us a bit of a taste that you have your Sunday or your resting day, Monday off, Tuesday to Thursday you're working. What does a working day mean?
A working day means to me, for Tuesdays, what I usually do is when I go for my pickups. Like it's when I restock. Like for example, like even Saturday, I was in a pop-up and I got orders, so I make sure like it's when it comes to Friday, it's when like I do the deliveries. So for Fridays I do deliveries. So for Tuesdays I go for pickups. Like if I had orders on Saturday, so on Tuesday I go to collect the materials. If it's the t-shirts, if it's going to see my tailor, if I also like have meetings or anything in between that requires me to be outside. Yes. So on Wednesday is when like I have to now like be inside the studio in my working space. So I work from 8 up to 5, then from 5 I rest, then I can continue from let's say 9 up to 12. Then
at night. Then you come to Thursday.
Then I come to Thursday, still the same.
Working.
Like I work throughout Thursday. Then when you get to Friday, now I can work up to midday, then evenings, and I'll do the deliveries. Yeah, so for Saturdays, if there are any events or any pop-ups, I attend the pop-ups.
Nice.
Yes.
So and then of course sometimes events come up in between the week. So
in between the week. Yourself. Yeah, so I adjust myself accordingly. So if my day ends at maybe let's say 5 or 6, maybe we have an exhibition because most exhibitions start at 7. So during the evening I can attend an exhibition. For Wednesdays I still go to church in the evening. Then Thursdays also we have our HBC Home Bible Church. So also have to attend that one.
Wow.
And so for Saturdays also if like I'm not available if there's no any pop-up, like I'm also part of the drama in church. So we use it I take that time to go practice.
Somebody is going to start looking for you for their daughter. Are you a bachelor? Are you a bachelor still?
Currently I'm dating.
Okay.
Yes.
Poleni, man. I tried. Hey, you sound very well put together.
Like I'm not in a relationship, but I'm dating.
You're dating. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so you're not yet committed.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
There's a chance, people. Because I'm saying that because you do sound very well put together in a society where many young people bado hawaja figure out themselves and their direction and what. So it's very nice to meet you and very nice to know that you're actually an artist, because mostly artists tunajijua. Hey. Okay. So let me know money. Let's talk money now. You told us you sold your first painting for 30,000. What is the picture like now today with your Kahawa Creations?
The picture today is my Kahawa Creations, since I have like multiple streams of income. On a good month I'd get up to 80,000. On just a regular month, it will be like 20,000.
20 to 80.
Yeah, 20 to 80.
Depending on how. So, for example, you have all the streams running in every month.
Yes.
Every month there's t-shirts. Every month there's paintings. Every month.
Yes.
So, what are the things that make it go to 80? What are the things that make it a good month?
So, the things that make it a good month is when I have like orders for apparel, like t-shirts. For if I've sold like t-shirts, because I can get one client, he can order for like 10 or 20.
Okay.
Or 4 or 5.
And
I can go to a pop-up. I can sell for this pop-up. I can sell like 5. The next one I sell like 4 or 5. And from the pop-ups I also get like orders. So I can also like get an order for a painting. I can get an order for a mural. So that's why like I have like the fluctuations.
There's a lot, So apparel is songa sana.
Yeah, it's songa sana.
I thought you were going to say painting.
Because it's sustainable. Because I was also looking at what is sustainable. Because for apparel, like my theme line or what makes me sell in apparel is like Kenya, we don't have an identity when it comes to fabric decoration. So like so for me that is my niche. For me, I have a pattern like the one I have. Like I do it repeatedly because I also paint using bleach. Yeah. So for the bleach, since I can paint on clothes, like I can now like create an identity for Kenyans, like the way we have matatu culture. Yeah. So we also need to have an identity when it comes to fabric decoration. Because yes, we have vitenges and those others, but in real sense, like we cannot dress them when you're going for office or when you have a state event.
Yeah, and also in a way, kitenge is more Swahili culture. It's a shared thing. It's not specifically
like for the Kikoi is the Swahili culture. Then for the kitenge is for the West Africa. And also like South Africa, but for them also like they really don't produce them, like it is produced outside, then brought to West Africa, then Kenyans go and get it from West Africa, then they're like it's from West Africa, but in real sense they are printed in Norway, then they're brought to West Africa, so us to get it from there. So in real sense, like we don't have our identity. Like even when you say like Maasais, they have an identity. It's not their identity. The Scottish culture. Yeah. So for us, like we lack an identity. So for me, it's to create an identity for Kenyans. Because if we have an identity, it will trickle down to plantation of cotton, to making of the fabric, to dyeing of the fabric, to decorating the fabric, to marketing, to it being used in the media, to it being used in the music industry, to it being used in the film industry. Because the culture we've absorbed, like it's from the Western culture, and it's from the media. That we consume.
Exposed to
So if we also now have our own, we can also like have something to sell to the outside world. We can also be producers and not consumers.
Hey. Nice. What has been a highlight? So it doesn't have to be monetary, but what has been a highlight of your journey so far?
My highlight is when I met the president.
Oh, which president?
Former president
Uhuru Kenyatta.
Uhuru Kenyatta.
Okay.
It came about when I used to attend events. So there was one which I attended. It was an art battle. It wasn't major. It was just a minor. Like it was just a fellow artist who had organized. Like why don't we artists just come together and like let's just battle between ourselves just to bring up the mood, and also like to have fun as artists. And they were like there were guys who were searching for talent, and so when they came, they're like they saw my works, so we exchanged contacts, and from there there was another event, a summit for ministers of tourism from all over Africa, and so I got the chance to exhibit there. So that was the first one. And so from there, I met with Big Ted, Najib Balala, and also all the ministers from Africa.
Wow.
Ministers of tourism from Africa. For me, that was huge. Like I was still I was still in campus,
that
and I'm like, wow. I'm in an environment where like, wow.
Yeah.
So these are the guys I get to interact with.
Yes.
So I try to explain my works, So they appreciated what I do. Because they cannot do it.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, so I have an upper edge.
And
so that made me also
to
like
offer on this table.
To get serious now with my art, because now I saw like the levels to which I can get to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which year was that?
That was before COVID. 2019.
Okay.
Yeah. So from there, now there was a state event in State House.
Yeah.
So and I was in a group, so they were asking for volunteers, and they didn't mention it's the State House. So they're just asking for volunteers. If you can work, if you can come, you come. So I just volunteered, and I went. And
then you're told it is State House.
So when we were going, so it's like, so we met in town. So we're like, we're going. So we get to State House, and I'm like, yo, it's State House. So when you're going to the gate, my name is already there, like they were expecting us, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So going inside the State House, we're just doing what we were called to do. We're volunteering to help kids in painting, in doing face painting, and also just making them have fun. I was just doing my routines, and then they're like, yo, the president is walking around, so we had tents.
Yeah.
So we had people who were doing games, I don't know what, blah, blah, blah. So we had a variety of activities.
Yeah.
So in our tent, we were artists.
Yeah.
So they were like, hey, who wants to do something with the president? And so other artists are like, they've already drawn the president, then they already have their portraits.
Yeah.
So for me, I had a blank paper.
Yeah.
And so for the blank paper, all I needed was just coffee.
Nice.
So I gone and because we were being served coffee that day.
Yeah.
So I went and picked the coffee, then brought it, and I'm like, yeah. So I have something to do with him.
Yeah.
So they set up the table for me. Then he came. So he came with the first lady, Margaret. So they were seated, and then I by the time he was moving around, so I was doing a quick sketch of him, and so I had samples on the table. They're like, yeah. So when he came, I'm like, so this is your portrait, and today you're going to paint yourself. So,
wow.
So like I gave him the brush, so we just did some few strokes. Then Margaret also did some few strokes. Then they drew their hands. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's done. You can sign here and you can sign here. So I give them a pencil. I didn't have a biro pen, so I give them my pencil. So they signed. So they both sign it. I still have the portrait.
I was going to ask you, so artwork zilienda up.
I still have
them.
Yeah, I finished it. So I now have like
signed by himself.
Yeah, signed by the president himself. So I'm hoping someday I'll get to auction that piece.
That's yes.
Yeah. So I'm waiting just for my brand name to grow and my name to grow, so that when I release that painting, like it's my collectible. Like there are some of the paintings which I do that I don't sell.
Yes.
They are
for the future.
For my own and for my future, like this one. Because I also want to know, like, to gauge myself.
Yeah.
Like, this is how far I've come.
Yeah.
This is where I am. This is where I was. Yeah.
Wow. That's an amazing story, actually.
Yeah.
That's a very nice story.
So for me, that was my highlight, because it made my dad now, like, appreciate art. Because anywhere, when I went back home, when he's with his friends, it's like, hey, here's my son.
This boy here.
He's an artist. He met the president. Like,
I know those sessions. This boy, call Maxwell.
Because I remember even that day, just to get the clip, my friend was the one who took the clip.
Yeah.
It was a struggle to get the clip because cameramen were all over. It had to be a fight for her just to
get that
clip. And that clip is what I sent to my dad, and it's like, wow, my son. So I thought he would keep it to himself, but now he shared it.
Obviously, that's the type of thing. My son in Nairobi. Call Maxwell akuja hapa. This is how you shake their hands.
Yeah. So for me, that was my highlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's turn the coin. What has been a low moment?
My lowest moment, I would say, during COVID. Because during COVID, like, art is luxury.
Yeah.
Art isn't like...
people are not spending on it first thing.
Yeah. And also, but I can't say that was my lowest moment, because the ground was even to everyone.
Yeah.
And I also had my high moments during that time. But now my low moments came when I now finished school. Because when I finished school, like, now my financial support was now cut off. Yeah, because I was dependent on my dad. Like, oh, yo, dad, I need this, because I'd use an excuse of school. Oh, we have this project. And so when I now finished campus, now
nothing.
You're on your own. You're like, yo, dad, I need this. I'm like, bana. Sasa, we jipange. So I'm like, yo, you promise you're gonna help me when I come out. And it's like, no, bana. You see, you have no time. You have time to make money.
Make your hustle.
Wow. That time I didn't have materials. I didn't have anything. So I started doing jewelry. And so
Wow.
I partnered up with a friend of mine. So since I used to sell jewelry at school when I was at school. So when I was out, now I needed someone who's in school who could help
Continue
me.
selling to the students.
Yeah.
When you started selling jewelry, is it jewelry that you make or
The ones that I make.
you make? What
Yeah.
materials do you use for jewelry?
I use ceramics.
Wow.
Yeah, like I would use ceramics and wood. Like I would pick like I would just collect like antique woods and use like marbles and
I feel like I've seen that
drill
because
a hole
I know a few students from BIFA but maybe before your time actually.
yeah.
Yeah, but I've seen. I know. I think I get the idea.
Like,
Maybe
like on my Instagram it's there. And so I made the first bunch, I gave it to him, he went and sold all and gave me the entire money. So I took the money, reinvested everything. I didn't even like
you can pay rent.
I didn't even like have something left. So I spent everything. I went to collect the materials because now I saw like this business is booming.
It's working, yeah.
It's working. So since I don't have support from my dad and I have this amount of money, I can just reinvest it so that I can have enough stock, so
Yeah.
I can go and do the sales. So I go restock my materials and everything. I do an entire collection. Then after doing the entire collection, I gave it to him. I gave him everything. I took records, blah blah blah. I gave it to him. So after 1 month, I call him.
Oh.
He's like, he's not picking. So I call him. So he picks at one point and tells me, they haven't sold yet. You relax. Once they sell, I'll give you the money. From there, that was the last time I heard from him.
Ooh.
So he's a student in school. So let me go and check him out in school. So I go to school. I get the news he's no longer in school.
Wow. Amepotea.
And that's when I crash.
Yeah.
Because I even stopped now like making jewelry. Because I really got disappointed. So I crashed. So I fell into depression. I'm like, so I don't have support. I don't have anything. So I was just like that. It came to a point when I was like, I got an offer for internet. So if you pay 525, you get internet. I'm like, yes. So I borrowed the money. Mm-hmm. So I borrowed the cash. I paid for the internet. So I had internet for the entire month. Because I knew if I have internet, then I can at least try and reach to my audience, online audience.
Advertise.
And I was like, okay, yes, I don't have materials, but I think I have a few scraps remaining somewhere. And so I take a few, I just start doing the pieces. So the first piece I did, it wasn't even huge, because I wanted to do big paintings, because that was my ambition, just to do huge paintings.
Yeah.
But now it was just a small board.
Yeah.
And so that small board, I did the artwork, then posted it, and I even did a video for the process, and posted it. And a friend of mine bought it and ordered for another one.
How much did you sell that one?
I sold it for 2,500. It was just a small piece. And then she ordered for another one. And then she ordered for another one. And then from there, that's when I now like got back to my feet. And now I got serious with my accounts, because I knew like if you mess this up,
nothing, no backup.
There's no backup.
No plan B.
Yeah, no plan B. So from it now is when now I became now serious with my finances, and now I also started saving, and so from there now I was able now to do other projects, and then in that period of things getting better, I also sold a painting for 20,000.
Nice.
But this time round I was educated financially, because the first one I got, like the 30,000, I was just like just spent it.
Then that makes me curious about how you organize your money, because again I talk to a lot of people who get money similar to you. Some months is 20, some months is 80, some months is down, some months is a bit higher. So how do you organize yourself personally?
So how I organize myself is first is the pricing for my pieces. Like for the t-shirts, I sell one at 2,500. So that I can have at least a really good profit margin. Yeah, and also like for my target audience, also like went for quality, and so quality comes with the price. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So from that, so like I never used to take records before.
Yeah.
And so I started taking records.
Yeah.
Like for sales, expenses, then reinvestment, then the profit. And so like I used to do it for a week, but now these days I do it for a whole month. And so if I do it for a whole month, like I really get a good picture of where my business is heading or what I'm supposed to invest in. Because also like from going through the pop-ups, like from the orders I get, that's what determines what materials I'm gonna get or how much money I'm gonna spend and how much returns I'm gonna get. And so that's how I plan, like from the orders I get, and maybe from the ones that I already have. Like I also have like personal collection and their custom-made collection. And so I have to consider both. So if I'm also going to get for my personal collection and for my business collection, so I bring them both together. So that's how like I also get like subsidized price for getting the wholesale bulk. Yeah.
So you have a reinvestment budget?
Yes.
Okay. Then do you have any advice for somebody who's young and thinking about doing the arts and wondering how that goes and
What I would say is explore. If you have the time, explore and create a timetable. Because for me, like I don't just do one thing. And so maybe if it's Tuesday, I'm doing apparel. If it's Wednesday, I'm doing painting. If it's Thursday, I'm doing something else different. If you have a variety of stuffs to do, you'll find that at one point they'll all come together and be one. Because let's say like a rapper, because a rapper, artists, they all go in line.
All expression.
Because I have a friend who is a rapper. And so when he's doing an EP launch, like he calls me to display my works. And so like you see it works together. So if he's a rapper and he's an artist, they all go together because he's also an artist. He makes jewelry. For him, he makes jewelry from scratch. Like he's bought the equipment and everything, so he makes it from scratch. And so and also doing one thing, like you get bored easily, so you also need to like venture into to diversify and just plan yourself. Like this week I'm doing this, maybe the next week I'm doing this, next week I'm focusing on this, this month I'm focusing entirely on this one, so that you exhaust it fully. So when it comes to the next month, you also exhaust it fully. Like you don't leave.
Each part of yourself is fulfilled. You fulfill all.
Because at one point, I used to like really juggle a lot of things, but now like even in the juggling, I got to understand like yes, I'm juggling, but now I want to focus on a few. And so from the juggling, I studied myself like for 6 months, like what have I been really consistent on, like what's the one thing like I've really been consistent. And so for the one thing that I was for the things in which I was consistent, I noted them. And even in art, like I noted my consistency in using paint, my consistency in using pencil, my consistency in using bleach. So I noted them down. And so like what's unique for me, like what is it that I'm doing that other artists out there are not doing. So I chose to do what other artists are not doing and stick to it. Because before there was the pressure to do what other artists are doing. because I see they are selling, so I want to do whatever it is they are doing because it's selling. Little did I know that at one point, whatever it is that I'm doing, my unique ideas, some people will come to buy the idea at one point. Because at some point I was really feeling frustrated because people are not accepting my idea of identity as a Kenyan. People just want the Western culture, but now I'm like, let me just push it. So if you can take time and study yourself, like in the past, even for coming up with a style in art, like in the past, you just look at your previous works, like this is what are the consistencies. Like what are the consistencies? Because when I started doing patterns, this was the pattern that was consistent in all my drawings. And so I chose to just stick to it. That's from sticking to it. Now I started exploring it even in my artworks, and also now into apparel. And so getting into apparel, like it went like everywhere. And so it also gave me another route to explore. So like diversifying also like will give you a taste of what's unique. Like you can combine A, B, and C and place it into one and get something amazing out of it.
Wow. How can people reach you? Anybody who's interested in reaching you or even in exploring Kahawa Creations?
I'm on Instagram, Kahawa Creations. Currently I'm active on Instagram because I didn't want to like also like burden myself with a lot of
with all these my TikToks. I tried TikTok.
Because I also tried like TikTok, maybe also tried Facebook, also tried Twitter, but now I came and realized like I cannot be in all this. I can only be in a few
with focus.
With the focus on this is what I want to achieve.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Hi. I'm really pleased to have met you, and I'm so glad. Yani nyi wase hii label ni safi. I loved this shirt. Actually, somebody bought for me this shirt, and then we went back and bought another one because I really like the style. Of course, I like Fela Kuti, but even just the style of the way you've made the shirt.
With bleach, you don't feel the texture for the paint.
It's so comfortable. You don't feel that najua kenye unasema ile aka stuff.
Like there's kind of texture that usually like printed t-shirts have. But that painting with bleach
it's very smooth.
It's very smooth. It's just the fabric itself.
Nice. Manze, if you are not inspired, mimi sijui, because this young man is such a force to reckon with, and I am so excited to meet him, and I'm so glad. Just thank you so much, Maxwell, for sharing your story. You have inspired mimi, umeni-inspire sasa na wengine. I'm very sure that you're inspired. Please just take a moment and share this video, share this story with any young person that you know that has a passion for the arts, because for sure it is not easy when you're coming into like, you know, trying to figure out how to make money. It's not very clear the path of how to make money with arts, but this is one story manzenye nyiwa to just share it with that young artist that you know, because it just might change their life. So maze, all thanks to Maxwell. You can go find him on Instagram, Kahawa Creations. Thank you so much for watching, and come back next time for the next video. Unaweza pita. Hizo samosa kizive naona ziko mbali. Bado kitunguu bado.
Mwanze.
Ai.
Unajua kwenye mlianza ni vitu tu sasa bro.
Pole lakini
tripod iko hapa hata mtu hawezi inama hivi.
Au ukitaka kupita unaweza
kupatilishia kamera pasta ni nini hapo microphone.
Lakini unaweza in case unapita unaweza kama mtu tunaweza kata.
Sawa.
Haya.